Very good evening, friends, and welcome to Unacademy. So, this is Abhijit, and today we are going to focus on the fertilization chapter. Okay, the fertilization subtopic, and the chapter is reproduction in the higher animal. Okay, so before starting the lecture, this is your batch, the target top 100 ranks MHT CET 2021. Okay, so this is the Telegram group and the YouTube group. Okay, so the Telegram and YouTube. So both group are here. So the name of both group is the same and the links are given in the description. Okay, description मध्ये लिंक आहेत मित्रांनो, तुम्ही तिथे जर क्लिक कराल तर तुम्ही या ग्रुपला जॉईन होऊ शकता. या ग्रुपवरती सगळ्यांनी जॉईन व्हायचे. टेलिग्राम ग्रुपला तुम्हाला लवकरच सगळ्या गोष्टी अवेलेबल होणार आहेत आणि यूट्यूबचा जो ग्रुप आहे तुमचा तर या यूट्यूब चॅनलवरती तुम्हाला बाकी सगळ्या विषयांचे पण लेक्चर आहेत. तर या बॅचचं जे टोटल टाइम टेबल आहे ते असं आहे: मॅथ, बायोलॉजी, केमिस्ट्री अँड फिजिक्स. ओके, सो तो मॉर्निंग वाल्या जेवढ्या पण बॅच आहे मॉर्निंग सेशन्स, तर या मॉर्निंगला 11चा सिलेबस सगळ्यांनी 11वीचा स्टार्ट केलेला आहे आणि इव्हिनिंगला तुम्हाला 12चा सिलेबस इथे स्टडी करायला भेटेल. ठीक आहे, अशा पद्धतीने जाणार आहेत आपण. ज्यावेळेस इव्हिनिंग आपल्याला माहिती आहे की मॉर्निंगचा सेशन म्हणजे 11th वाला सेशन फक्त 20% आहे, त्यामुळे लवकर संपणार आहे. हा लवकर संपला की आपण लगेच 12चा सिलेबस या ठिकाणी शिफ्ट करणार आहोत आणि 12चे बाकी चॅप्टर तिथे कव्हर करणार आहोत. ठीक आहे, सध्या हा बेसिक पार्ट आहे तुमचा मॉर्निंगवाला. मॉर्निंगला सगळ्यांनी प्रेझेंट राहायचा. मग तुमचं फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, बायो, मॅथ जे काय असेल, पीसीएम किंवा पीसीबी त्या ग्रुपनुसार, आणि ज्यांचे दोन्ही ग्रुप आहेत त्यांनी दोन्ही लेक्चर करा. ठीक आहे, सो बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द लेक्चर इट इज व्हेरी नेसेसरी टू नो अबाउट मी. This is Abhijit Madkar. I have more than 6 years of experience in the field of biology and also cracked NET CSR from the life science. Okay, so we are here on the India's largest platform. If you want to enjoy more uh, about the education, so it is very necessary to download this app. So this app is available on the App Store. Okay, so this app will give you the thousands of educator and thousands of lectures here, so you can enjoy the lectures on this app also. Okay, so this is Telegram app, guys. So this app is for the daily updates, so please join it, and it is for the notes and the MCQs practice also. Okay, so we are shortly going to start the MCQs and the notes on this app. So guys, so I already talked you about the app of Unacademy, so that if you want to unlock that app completely, so it is very necessary to take this subscription. Okay, या सबस्क्रिप्शन मध्ये तुम्हाला काय काय मिळतं मित्रांनो, तर तुम्हाला ऑफलाईन फॅसिलिटी भेटते. ऑफलाईन म्हणजे तुम्ही एखादं लेक्चर डाउनलोड करून you can study as per your time. The second thing is a dedicated doubt solving session. Okay, so the you can arrange the session with your favorite educator. The third thing, which is very important, and that is the MCQs practice. Okay, so we have the facility to practice the papers or the MCQs here. So after the MCQs you will have the analysis of the your paper. Okay, and this analysis report or the analytical part will give you to idea about the improvements. Okay, so which part you have to improve. So this analyzer will this is a doctor of MCQs, it will tell you anything is there. Okay, so that means, for example, you are going to correct all the factual data, so it is necessary to study some logical questions. Okay, so the it will told you about the logical questions, and the very important thing, if you are going to click on the right option only with a logical type of question, so that app will told you about the how to solve the factual data. Okay, so this is the app which is give you the facilities. Okay, so the fees for 24 month is 21,600. With this code it will reduce. Okay, so this code is subscription code capital Abhijit. So for 12 months, so fees is only 14,850 rupees. So when you are going to take a subscription, so move with this code, guys. Okay, so this code will give you definitely the discount in the fee. Okay, so let's start with the human fertilization. So fertilization in human means what, guys? So this is the process of making a new organism. Okay, so this is nothing but the process of making a new organism. So in this process the new organisms are synthesized at the end of the process. Okay, so let's see, the a new organism is synthesized by the combination of two cells. Okay, so this is One is a sperm, which is a male gamete. Okay, and second is a ova. Okay, or we call it a egg, which is a female gamete. Okay, gamete always have the half number of chromosome. Okay, so here is always half number of chromosome. नोटबुक आणि पेन घेऊन बसायचे सगळ्यांनी हा. उगा आपलं मूवी पाहिल्यासारखं लेक्चर पाहत नका जसं चित्र पाहायला भेटतात म्हणून जरा नोट्स वगैरे काढत चला. Female gamete आणि male gamete. ठीक आहे. So if we are going to talk about the humans, that means a 46 chromosome is a property of a diploid cell. Okay, so diploid means having each and every chromosome with a pair. That is the two set of chromosome. So one set is a 23, second is a 23. So in a male gamete, there is only 23 chromosomes are present. In a female gamete, there is only 23 chromosomes are present. Okay, so in these 23 chromosomes, if you see the 22, so these are the autosomal chromosomes. Okay, so they are not related to the sex of a individual. Okay, but if you see the last one, so this one chromosome is related with the sex of a chromosome. Okay, so in a male, in a sperm, so we have two type of a sperm. Okay, so one is 22 plus x and one is 22 plus y. Okay, so any of the chromosome will get fused with the ova. So ova, if you see the ova, so ova is formed from the female, so the female is always xx and male is always xy, and that's why we have two chances of a sperm, that is one with the x chromosome and the second with the y chromosome. Okay, so this 23 chromosome are just segregate them like 22 autosomal plus 1 x. So OY is always with the X chromosome. OY नेहमी X chromosome सोबतच असतो मित्रांनो. गोंधळ असतो तो मेल स्पर्मचा. एकतर तो X chromosome सोबत असेल नाहीतर Y chromosome सोबत असेल. जर Y chromosome वाला X chromosome सोबत फ्यूज झाला सो देयर इज अ मेल. आणि जर X chromosome वाला X सोबत फ्यूज झाला सो देयर इज फिमेल. ओके, त्यामुळे मेल आणि फिमेल हे सगळंच्या सगळं कशावरती डिपेंड आहे? स्पर्म वरती डिपेंड आहे. ओवा तर फिक्स आहे, ओवा तर एक्सचाच असणार आहे. ओके, फक्त वायचा जर फ्यूज झाला, वाय वाला स्पर्म फ्यूज झाला तर एक्स वाय तयार होईल म्हणजे मेल, आणि जर एक्स वाला स्पर्म फ्यूज झाला तर एक्स एक्स तयार होईल म्हणजे फिमेल. ओके, त्यामुळे या सगळ्या गोष्टी कशावर डिपेंड आहेत? मेल ऑयदर द next generation will be a male or female. It is completely depending upon the sperm. Okay, and not ova, because ova is the same, that is all ova shows X chromosome. Okay, but in the formation of a sperm, the half of a sperm is formed with a X chromosome and the half formed with a Y chromosome at the time of segregation. If you see, so in the first meiosis process, so this X and Y get separated from each other, and they after the complete meiosis we have the four sperm from the single mother cell. Okay, so this is called as the spermatogenesis. Okay, and this the first cell is called as a spermatogonia. Okay, so which is converted itself into the sperm, आणि या गोष्टी सगळ्या आपण पाहिलेल्या आहेत. Okay, so if you see this diagram, so diagram is a very old, it is drawn in the 1694. Okay, so by the Nicholas was the scientist who first draw the structure of a sperm. You can see the complete the human is shown in the diagram of a sperm, so very beautifully drawn in the 1694. So that time it is very difficult to draw the draw this smaller type of a cell. Okay, so if you don't know, let draw somewhere, write somewhere. So sperm is the smallest cell of a human body. Okay, so it is smallest cell of a human body. Sperm is a smallest cell of a human body. It does not possesses anything. Okay, काही नसते, फक्त 23 क्रोमोझोम आणि एक सेंट्रिओल असतोय, मोकळा असतोय सगळा स्पर्म. ठीक आहे, कसा दिसतो पाहूया आपण नेक्स्ट डायग्राम मध्ये. सो दिस इज द डायग्राम ऑफ अ स्पर्म. So in this diagram, so this part is called as a head. Okay, so this is a head. So in the head, the first sac which is at the close to the head. Okay, so you can say the tip of the head, close to the tip of the head, is called as acrosome. It had some enzymes. Okay, so this sac possesses some enzymes. This is nucleus with a 23 chromosomes, that is a haploid cell. So it's a neck which is a joint between the middle piece, or the sometime it is called as a mid piece. Okay, and the head. Okay, so this mid piece is covered by the mitochondria. So the spiral shape mitochondria are there. So mitochondria are arranged in the shape of a spiral. Okay, spiral like shape. So here are the large amount of mitochondria are placed. So this is a plasma membrane and this is a tail. Okay, so it is used for the स्विपिंग मुवमेंट ऑफ द स्पर्म. ओके, सो स्विमिंग साठी आपण म्हणू शकतो की या टेलचा यूज केला जातो. सो प्लाझ्मा मेम्ब्रेन इज कंटिन्यू फ्रॉम द हेड टू द last part of a tail. Okay, so that's a continuation of plasma membrane. So this is complete matured sperm which is ejaculated from the male reproductive system directly to the female reproductive system. Okay, so this is structure of egg. So this egg, the haploid nucleus is present. We already discussed about this haploid nucleus having only 23 chromosomes. Okay, so the first polar body which is synthesized is shown here in this diagram. So it is not necessary to draw this body in the paper or in your diagram, but if you draw it, so it is also the good. Okay, and if you do not draw this polar body, so doesn't matter, guys. So the zona pellucida, it's a jelly coat. Okay, so the jelly coat is nothing but the zona pellucida. So this is called as a ZP membrane. Okay, so this is nothing but the ZP. ZP म्हणून famous आहे. So it contains the glycoprotein that protect the inner content of the ovum until the acrosome reaction of fertilization, and it help prevent the polyspermy. Okay, so it help prevent the polyspermy. Polyspermy होऊ नये म्हणून हा लेअर प्रोटेक्ट करतो. तर पॉलिस्पर्मी काय आहे तर हे आपण पाहणार आहोत मित्रांनो. ठीक आहे, सो द न्यूक्लियस, so here is the nucleus of follicular cell. So these are nothing but the follicular cell. Okay, so the follicular cell form one layer and that layer is called as corona radiata. So this layer is called as corona radiata. It protect the inner layer of the ovum and help prevent the polyspermy. Okay, so it is also involved in the prevention of polyspermy. पॉलिस्पर्मी प्रिव्हेंट करायची म्हणजे नेमकं काय तर ते मी सांगणार आहे तुम्हाला थोड्याच वेळात. तुमचे काही क्वेश्चन वगैरे असतील तर तुम्ही मध्ये मध्ये विचारत चला. थोडा वेळ थांबा म्हणजे तुम्हाला पण कळेल काय काय विचारायचं. Cortical granules, so these are the granules which is present inside of the cytoplasm of the ova. So here are the green color sacs which is nothing but the granules having the enzymes inside. So that enzyme also help in the prevention of polyspermy, guys. Okay, so you can see here polyspermy after the fertilization of egg by a single sperm. Okay, and here are the different mitochondria. DNA is also present here. So in this cell or the ova or the egg, so whatever you say, it is correct. Okay, so different type of organelles are there which is swimming inside of a cytoplasm, like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosome, mitochondria. These all organelles are present inside of the ova. So this ova is one of the largest cell of a human body. Okay, and sperm is the smallest cell. Okay, let's see, guys, the egg structure in the fertilization. So the how which part is involved in the fertilization. So this is jelly coat. Okay, so jelly coat is a name of your which part is a zona pellucida. Okay, so the zona pellucida, this ZP membrane is also called as jelly coat. Okay, so this is jelly coat, the plasma membrane of a cell. So plasma membrane is this white color component. So white align layer is there. So white align membrane is the purple color part here. The egg cytoplasm is inside. This is the cortical granules, and these are the sperm binding receptors are here, which is very specific, or sometimes we say it species specific. स्पेसिस स्पेसिफिक म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल एखादी स्पेसिसचा स्पर्म आहे, ओवा आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल हा बी स्पेसिसचा ओवा आहे आणि ए स्पेसिस जी त्याच्यासारखीच दिसते सेम, तिचा जर स्पर्म आला तर तो स्पर्म इथे चेक केला जातो आधी की हा आपल्या स्पेसिसचा आहे का. जर आपल्या स्पेसिसचा नसेल तर दॅट स्पर्म इज नॉट अलाउडेड बाय दिस ओवा टू फर्टिलाइज. ओके, म्हणजे स्पर्म सुद्धा चेक केले जातात की आपल्या स्पेसिसचा स्पर्म आहे का फर्टिलायझेशन साठी चाललेला, दुसऱ्या स्पेसिसचा असेल तर जाऊ दिला जात नाही. ठीक आहे, अँड दॅट्स वाय दिस रिसेप्टर्स आर कॉल्ड ॲज स्पेसिस स्पेसिफिक रिसेप्टर. स्पेसिसशी रिलेटेड असतात, त्यामुळे दोन स्पेसिस एकत्र येताना तुम्ही जर डेफिनेशन जरी पाहिली स्पेसिसची मेयरने दिलेली तर डेफिनेशन सुद्धा तशीच आहे. When two organism met, I mean when the same species of organism they met and reproduce, so the new generation is a very similar like that organisms. If there is any difference between the generation and the next generation, so that means the parent, those who have mating or the reproduction, they are not from the same species. Okay, नवीन ऑर्गॅनिझम तयार होत असेल तर सेम स्पेसिस नाही आहेत, पण सेम ऑर्गॅनिझम तयार होत असेल तर त्यांना सेम स्पेसिस म्हणू शकतो आपण. ठीक आहे, एवढं साधं सोपी डेफिनेशन आपल्याला दिलेली होती. So the vitelline membrane, what is vitelline membrane? It is a primary egg membrane. Okay, primary means सगळ्यात बाहेरचा आहे. So made up of the protein, fiber and the receptor of the sperm binding are present on this membrane. So it is responsible for the species specific binding. Okay, so a species specific binding with a sperm and fertilize sorry, the fertilin and the antifertilin are present in this membrane. Okay, so the receptor we are talking about, so these receptor are the fertilin receptor which is present on the egg. So the ligand for that receptor असा असतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल याच्यामध्ये जो लिगॅन्ड बसणार आहे ना, याच्यामध्ये जो सबस्ट्रेट बसतो असा जाऊन, तर त्याला लिगॅन्ड म्हणतो आपण. सो द लिगॅन्ड इज ऑलवेज प्रेझेंट ऑन द स्पर्म. So this is called as antifertilin. It is a protein, anti-fertilizing. Okay, and this is nothing but the fertilizing. Fertilizing and anti-fertilizing हे दोन नाव आहेत. So these proteins are very necessary for the fertilization. Necessary for fertilization. Okay, so the fertilization in human guys. So the in the human, sperms are ejaculated during the copulation in a uterus of the female. Okay, so if you see the uterus of female, so let me draw somewhere. So this is a diagram of the female reproductive tract. Okay, so this is uterus. Sperms are ejaculated here somewhere. Okay, so at the single ejaculation, so there are 200 to 400 million sperm are ejaculated. Okay, 200 ते 400 million sperm at a time ejaculate केले जातात. So semen, that means the sperms are ejaculated with a liquid, and that liquid is called as semen. Okay, so the semen is the liquid plus sperm. Okay, so the semen which help sperm to swim into the site of a fertilization. So sperm start swimming from here and they move toward the ovary. So ovary is placed here somewhere. Okay, so the sperms are moving toward the ovary and semen help करतं म्हणजे काय करतं रे, तर semen म्हणजे कुठे तयार झालंय, semen वेगवेगळ्या ऍक्सेसरी ग्लँड मधून आलेला आहे. कोणत्या कोणत्या ऍक्सेसरी ग्लँड होत्या मेल मध्ये आठवतंय का कोणाला? पहिली होती सेमिनल वेसिकल, दुसरी होती कॉपर्स ग्लँड, तिसरी बल्बोइरेथ्रल. किती झाले, किती पाहिजे होत्या? बरोबर आहेत का? अरे बरोबर आहेत का? Okay, so the first seminal vesicle, so the seminal vesicle contributes 60% of the semen. Okay, 60% of semen. And what is there inside of the secretion of seminal vesicle? The first thing is the source of energy. Source of energy. It's a fructose. Okay, so the fructose is act as source of energy for a sperm, which is secreted by the seminal vesicle. Okay, ती जी seminal vesicle वाली आहे ना तुमची gland, तिच्यामधनं येतं हे. Second thing is prostaglandin. So this prostaglandin is a hormone which is responsible for the contraction of the uterine muscle. Contraction of uterine muscles. Okay, and third thing which is coming from the seminal vesicle is कोण आहे रे थर्ड थिंग कोण येतं त्याच्यामधून तर यामधून येणारे तिसरा फायब्रिनोजन. ओके सो फायब्रिनोजन रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द क्लॉटिंग ऑफ अ सीमेन. क्लॉट करते इथे सिमेनला क्लॉट करून ठेवतं. हे सिमेन क्लॉट करून ठेवायचं इथे. जर क्लॉट नाही केलं सो इट विल अगेन drain back from the vagina and it will move out of the female body. Okay, so to hold it properly in this space, so it is very necessary to clot it, and that clotting, the work of clotting is done by the fibrinogen. So these are the component which is present inside of the semen. Okay, so the semen when come into the uterus or the cervix, that is the part here, the cervix. So in the cervix it is started moving, the sperm is started moving toward the ovary. Okay, ovary कडेच का जातात, रिव्हर्स का जात नाही? Because the prostaglandin is there, it is the component, or you can say it is substance responsible for the contraction. Contraction मुळे काय होतं की ही ओव्हरीचा जो पार्ट आहे, मी इथला थोडा पार्ट क्लिअर करतो म्हणजे आपल्याला इथे ड्रॉ करता येईल. ओके, या ओव्हरीचा जो पार्ट आहे ना, तर या वॉल मध्ये काय करतं ते आतल्या बाजूने याला कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट करतो, असा कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट करतो. त्याच्यामुळे ऑप्शनच राहत नाही, इकडे जायला चान्सच नाही. वरच्या बाजूला वेव्ह तयार होते कॉन्ट्रॅक्शनची आणि या बाजूला स्पर्म पळायला सुरुवात करतात. ओके, सो स्पर्म विल मूव टुवर्ड द ओव्हरीज बिकॉज ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन लाईक दिस. ओके, सो लाईक दिस कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन इट विल मूव टुवर्ड द ovaries. Okay, and that is because of the prostaglandin, which is the contracting hormone. Okay, so the hormone which is responsible contraction is present inside of the semen. Okay, sperm goes through the capacitation process before the fertilization. So for example, this is ampulla, the larger part of fallopian tube. Okay, so after this ampulla here is your the ovary, for example. Okay, so this ampulla is the main part where the most of the sperm get capacitated. Capacitation म्हणजे activation process आहे sperm ची. Okay, तर ती आपण डिटेल पाहणार आहोत पुढे. Capacitation is a physiological changes in a sperm which activate the sperm. Okay, so it is physiological changes in the sperm get activated. So human fertilization is the union of a human egg and the sperm usually occur in an ampulla. Okay, of the fallopian tube. So the fertilization or the union of egg and sperm which is occurred close to the ovary, that is the most of the time it's ampulla, either the part of ovary, part of fallopian tube, any part of fallopian tube, but most of the time it is considered as an ampulla. Okay, so let's say the fusion result in the formation of a zygote. So zygote is nothing but the fertilized egg. Fertilized egg is also called as zygote. So zygote is the first diploid cell of a new life. So this first diploid cell zygote, for example, this is zygote which is coming result of the 23 chromosome from sperm and 23 chromosome from the ova. So it will result into the 46 chromosome cell. So the first cell of a 46 chromosome, it will completely it is the first cell which is responsible for the making a new organism, and the new organism is made by this the 46 chromosome cell. Okay, तर या एका झायगोट मुळे नवीन ऑर्गॅनिझम तयार व्हायला सुरुवात होतात आणि म्हणून याला आपण म्हणतो द फर्स्ट सेल ऑफ अ न्यू लाईफ. नवीन जे ऑर्गॅनिझम आहे तर त्याची पहिली सेल आहे ती. ठीक आहे, सो व्हॉट इज मीन बाय कॅपॅसिटेशन ऑफ अ स्पर्म? So the sperm which is freshly ejaculated from the male body, they are poorly able to fertilize, or you can say they are unable to fertilize the ova. Okay, so these freshly ejaculated sperms are very poor in the fertilization. So the training is very necessary, and that training is called as capacitation. So at the beginning of the process, the sperm undergo the series of changes called as the capacitation of a sperm. Okay, so which series of changes or the for beginning of what? Okay, so the beginning of a training कशासाठी? तर fertilization कसं करायचं यासाठी ट्रेनिंग आहे. So in that training there is a series of the reactions and when sperm undergo that reaction, we called it the complete process is the capacitation of a sperm. Okay, so the capacitation of a sperm happen in the female reproductive tract, the very important part. Okay, so it is happen inside of the female reproductive tract. Okay, याला 3 स्टार करून ठेवा, तुम्हाला विचारलं जाईल. Okay, because this spacely ejaculated sperm are poor in the fertilization process. Okay, so it takes several hours, which increase the motility of sperm. So this capacitation increase the motility of sperm, and also destabilize the sperm membrane. Okay, so the destabilization of sperm membrane, that means uh, thin thinning of sperm membrane. Sperm membrane काय करतं, थिन करतं, पातळ होऊन जातो sperm membrane. Okay, so it is nothing but the thinning of a sperm membrane and prepare for the acrosomal reaction. So what are the acrosomal reaction? We will discuss it after the one slide. So in the process of capacitation, the calcium which enters into the sperm, and the sperm become more active, that is the rapid whiplash movement of a tail will give the speed to the sperm. Okay, so the prostaglandin also help in the activity of a sperm, and the average speed of a sperm after the capacitation is 1.5 to 3 per minute. Okay, and so the viability of a sperm, if you see, it's a 24 to the 48 hour, and the viability of ova is only 24 hour. Okay, so the ova is living for 24 hour. Viability म्हणजे living किंवा able to fertilize. Able to fertilize किंवा living. Okay, so the ova is living for 24 hour, that means the ova is available for the 24 hour for the one I mean only 24 hour for the fertilization, and sperm is sperm can fertilize the ova in 24 to the 48 hour. Okay, so this is the overall process. So first sperm make a contact with the ova. Okay, so sperm first make a contact with the ova, so these changes will happen, that is the reaction, we call it acrosomal reaction. So enzymes from the acrosome which is coming out of the sperm, and then the sperm membrane and the vitelline membrane, or the fertilizing and the anti-fertilizing, they binds to each other after the acrosomal reaction. Then sperm is identified by the ova, so this is the same species sperm or not. So if identification is correct, then and then sperm will enter into the next phase, that is the fusion of a membrane. So here is the fusion of a membrane. Okay, so this fusion of a membrane will allow the nucleus to enter into the ova. You can see here, so the one nucleus which is coming from the sperm, and the one nucleus which is already present in the ova. So these two nucleus get merged and they form the 2n, that is the nucleus of 46 chromosome. Okay, and the remaining portion, this portion is not going to enter inside of the ova, and it will thrown out of the ova. Okay, so it is held by these membranes and not going inside of the ova. Okay, so the only nucleus and the one thing which is coming inside with the nucleus is the a small amount of cytoplasm is there, that's why it is also going to uh, merge with the cytoplasm of ova and the centriole. Okay, so the centrioles आणि न्यूक्लियस म्हणजे 23 क्रोमोझोम्स एवढंच फक्त पप्पांकडनं येतं. रिमेनिंग थिंग्स आर प्रेझेंट इनसाइड ऑफ दिस ओवा or egg. Okay, and egg is a part of a mother, and that's why we have everything from the mother. Okay, except of the 23 chromosomes of nucleus which is coming from the sperm, and the centriole which is responsible for the segregation of a chromosome. ओके, पप्पांकडनं काय येते, फक्त क्रोमोझोम आणि 23 क्रोमोझोम्स आणि सेंट्रिओल येतो, बाकी सगळ्या गोष्टी आपल्याकडे मम्मीकडनं आलेल्या आहे. ठीक आहे, आता पुढे पहा. So this is first stage, you can say the first stage of the fertilization. Okay, so in this first stage, sperm contact with the egg. So head of a sperm get a contact with the corona radiata. So this is the first membrane which is formed by the follicular cell. Okay, so this is the membrane of follicular cell. This is a membrane of follicular cell. It triggers the release of hydrolytic enzyme which dissolve the layer and make a way for the start of acrosomal reaction. Okay, so when in this diagram you can see when sperm get a contact with this membrane, so it will result into the starting of acrosomal reaction. Okay, so the initial of acrosomal reaction. Acrosomal reaction. So what is acrosomal reaction? You can see in the second step here is acrosomal reaction. Let's move to the second stage. So this is the acrosomal reaction. मित्रांनो acrosomal reaction मध्ये काय होते? So acrosome contain, acrosome is a modification of your Golgi complex. Okay, so the enzymes of acrosome are made or synthesized by your endoplasmic reticulum. So that's RER. So it sent this vesicle with these enzymes toward the Golgi complex. Golgi complex send this vesicle to form the acrosome, and sometimes the same vesicle, I mean not the same, but the few enzymes, this like hydrolytic enzymes, come to the Golgi complex and it send it to the cytoplasm to form a lysosome. Okay, so the Golgi complex is a mother of lysosome and the acrosome also. So acrosome is also modified from the Golgi complex. Okay, sometimes it is considered that it is a modification of lysosome. Okay, but if you see the standard books, so they are talking about the Golgi complex, but in a last edition of the book, if you see, it is also Golgi complex, but in the latest syllabus of 11th, at the one place it is written that the lysosome is modified into the acrosome. Okay, but the actual answer, if you see the about NEET, so NEET will give you the this will the correct answer, and this is not. Okay, so the acrosome contain hydrolytic enzyme, that is hyaluronidase. So the first enzyme which is present inside of the acrosome is hyaluronidase. And the second enzyme is the corona uh, uh, sorry, the second enzyme which is responsible for the penetration or the degradation of the corona radiata. Okay, and the second enzymes, the group of enzyme is responsible for corona penetration enzyme. कोरोना रॅडिएटा नावाचा एक लेयर आहे बरं का मित्रांनो, तो फॉलिक्युलर सेल पासून तयार होतो. आता कोरोना म्हणजे तुमच्या डोक्यात एकच कोरोना आहे सध्या, हा काहीतरी ते डोक्यात घालू नका, हा कोरोना वेगळा. ओके, ओवा पाहिला होता ना आपण, ओवा फॉलिक्युलर असा ओवा होता मध्ये, आणि त्याच्या बाजूला काही वेगळ्या वेगळ्या सेल होत्या अशा, आठवतंय? ओके, असं आठवतंय का सगळ्यांना? आपण लास्ट 2-3 लेक्चर मध्ये पाहिला होता. मागचे लेक्चर पाहिले असले तर कळलं, असं मधून अधून पाहिल्यावरती कसं कळलं रे तुम्हाला काही गोष्टी, मग अंदाज लावत बसावं लागतं. असा लेअर जो होता ना, तर हा कोरोना रेडिएटाचा लेअर आहे. ठीक आहे, हा कोरोना रेडिएटाचा लेअर आहे, याला फॉलिक्युलर सेल म्हणतो आपण. ओके, कोरोना म्हणजे तो कोरोना नाही जो तुम्हाला माहिती आहे, हा नवीन वाला कोरोना आहे, हा पण लक्षात ठेवा, हा पण तुम्हाला माहितच आहे. पण बऱ्याच वेळा कोरोना ऐकलं की आता सध्या एकच गोष्ट आहे आपल्याकडे, कोरोना म्हणलं की व्हायरस. तर हा व्हायरस नाही, हा लेअर आहे आपल्या बॉडी मधला, एक ओवाचा फिमेल बॉडी मधला एक लेअर आहे. ठीक आहे, so which drill, I mean this hydrolytic enzyme which drill the hole in the coat of egg and they make a way for the sperm. Okay, तर तुम्हाला इथं दिसेल की इथं ड्रिल करायला सुरुवात केली, या सेकंड डायग्राम मध्ये आपण इथेच आहोत, ड्रिल करायला सुरुवात केली. at the third stage, I mean till the third stage, the drill is completed and now this layer of the receptor, okay, this layer of receptor is now exposed to the sperm, exposed to sperm. कधी? थर्ड स्टेज मध्ये. या स्टेज मध्ये तुम्हाला दिसेल की ते लेयर एक्सपोज झालाय. सो लेट्स सी व्हाट हॅपन इन दॅट थर्ड स्टेज. सो इट इज अ बाइंडिंग ऑफ द रिसेप्टर टू द so binding of receptor between the sperm and ova. Okay, so the sperm plus ova having its binding between the two receptor. Acrosome process continue to elongate and bind with the sperm binding receptor. Okay, so this acrosome process mean the centrioles. Okay, हे कोण आहेत तर हे centrioles आहेत, हे proteins आहेत, हे जे आहेत ना हे सेंट्रिओल प्रोटीन्स आहेत. इथे एक सेंट्रिओल असतो स्पर्म कडे आणि इथे एक असतो डिस्टल आणि प्रॉक्सिमल. ओके, हा वाला काय करतो आतमध्ये जातो कुठे ओवा मध्ये, ओवा मध्ये हा पाठीमागचा जातो आणि पहिला वाला काय करतो तर हा पहिला वाला फक्त मेम्ब्रेनला बाहेर ढकलायचं काम करतो जेणेकरून हे दोघ जण एकमेकांना बाइंड होतील. कोण फर्टिलायझिंग आणि अँटी फर्टिलायझिंग. त्यासाठी पहिला वाला क्रोमोझोम तुमचा सॉरी सेंट्रिओल तुमचा कामाला येतो. ठीक आहे, तर इथे काय झालंय सो सेंट्रिओल प्रोसेस मीन्स द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द I mean elongation of the centriole is continue and the binding it results into the binding of fertilizing and the anti-fertilizing which is present on the sperm and the ova. So begin to break down the white align membrane. Okay, यांचं एकदा बाइंडिंग झालं की तुम्हाला लक्षात येईल की white align membrane डिग्रेड व्हायला सुरुवात होते. So it begins to the breakdown of a white align membrane and it results into the attraction of a sperm toward the egg. Okay, so it also results into the attraction of a sperm toward the egg and this reaction is called as the compatibility reaction. Okay, so the compatibility between sperm and ova is checked in this reaction. So compatibility between sperm and ova. So compatibility between the sperm and egg is a check in this reaction and that's why it is called as compatibility reaction. Okay, आता इथून पुढच्या प्रत्येक स्लाइडला मित्रांनो तुम्हाला सगळ्यात शेवटची लाईन एक नाव रिएक्शन दिसेल, एक मधली शेवटची किंवा कुठे मध्ये एक नाव दिसेल की दिस रिएक्शन इज कॉल्ड एज दिस रिएक्शन इज कॉल्ड एज रिएक्शन. सगळ्या रिएक्शन लक्षात ठेवायच्यात लाईनीनं. पहिली कंपॅटिबिलिटी रिएक्शन आहे, त्याच्या आधी तुमची अॅक्रोझोमल रिएक्शन होती. इथं नाव बघा स्लाइडचं काय आहे, अॅक्रोझोमल रिएक्शन. ओके, so the first is acrosomal reaction, second one is your compatibility reaction, the third is a fusion of the two membrane. Okay, so the membrane fusion of egg and the sperm causes depolarization of membrane which turn off the sperm binding receptor. Okay, यांच्या दोघांचं एकदा फ्युजन झालं इथे की depolarization होतं. So depolarization means change in the potential difference of the membrane. So the PD of a membrane is going to be a change now and this change in a PD will not allow to the next sperm or the any sperm which is moving toward the for example this part is not allowed to fuse with a ova. ओके, एका वेळी एकच स्पर्म फ्यूज झाला पाहिजे. का झाला पाहिजे लक्षात घ्या, तर ओवा कडे 23 क्रोमोझोम आहेत. फॉर एक्झाम्पल दिस इज ओवा, एक स्पर्म इकडनं आला तर 23 क्रोमोझोम येतील. दोघांचे मिळून किती झाले 46. सो दिस इज ह्युमन. जर चुकून दोन स्पर्म आले तर किती क्रोमोझोम झाले 69 झाले. 69 वाला कोणता ॲनिमल आहे, आपण तर नाही. मग हा जो ओवा आहे जर असं झालं याला पॉलिस्पर्म आहे म्हणायचं आणि पॉलिस्पर्मी जर झालं तर हा ओवा ॲपोप्टोसिस मध्ये एंट्री करतो. कारण आतमध्ये P53 सारखे भरपूर सगळे जीन्स आहेत किंवा प्रोटीन्स आहेत. ओके, जे प्रोटीन्स काय करतात ना सेल डिवाइडच्या वेळेस चेक करतात किती क्रोमोझोम आहेत, 1 2 3 4 46. ओके गुड, डिवाइड. If they found that the 1 2 3 4 it's not a 46, it is for example the less than 46 or the more than 46, so most of the time the cell will enter into the apoptosis. Okay, जर पहिल्यापासून डिफेक्ट नसेल तर cell will enter into the apoptosis. But if there is any syndrome like a Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, Down syndrome, Patau syndrome, in this syndrome we know that there is the one chromosome is extra or the less one chromosome, that is the 45 or 47 chromosomes are present. In that situation the cell is not going to enter into the apoptosis, but if you see the life of that person is a very low as compared to the normal person and it is difficult to live with that type of diseases. Okay, so the reaction is called as fast block polyspermy. याला काय म्हणायचं fast block. कशाला fast block? So change in a potential difference do not allow sperm to fuse. Okay, so potential difference of a membrane get changed and it do not allow second sperm to fuse. So this reaction is called as fast block reaction because the change in a potential difference are required fraction of second only. Okay, and it will result into the avoid of a polyspermy. Okay, so it will avoid of a polyspermy. Okay, so the reaction is called as a fast block of a polyspermy. सो where what happened, like let's say पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स मध्ये चेंज होतो म्हणजे नेमकं काय काय होतं, नाही तुम्हाला पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स मध्ये चेंज होतो एवढी काय मोठी गोष्ट आहे, कसा होतो ते महत्वाचं आहे. सो द कॅल्शियम विच इज रिलीज फ्रॉम द स्टोरेज साइड टू द सायटोप्लाझम. तुम्हाला स्टोरेज साइड काय आहे, तर स्टोरेज साइड मोस्टली स्मूथ एंडोप्लाझमिक रेटिक्युलम असतो. या ओवामध्ये दोन चार ठिकाणी वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणाहून तो रिलीज होतो. ठीक आहे. सो इट इज रिलीज फ्रॉम द स्टोरेज साइट इनटू द सायटोप्लाझम. या सायटोप्लाझम मध्ये काय झालं मित्रांनो, कॅल्शियम कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन वाढलं. सो कॅल्शियम 2 प्लस इज गोइंग टू इनक्रीज इनसाइड. सो इट विल रिझल्ट इनटू द फ्युजन ऑफ द कॉर्टिकल ग्रॅन्युल. जसं कॅल्शियम वाढलं ना तसा तो इकडे जातो आणि कॉर्टिकल ग्रॅन्युल्स स्टार्ट. सो दीज आर द कॉर्टिकल ग्रॅन्युल्स. okay, so these are the cortical granules. Okay, so these granules start fusion with the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane सोबत फ्यूज व्हायला लागलेत. प्लाझ्मा मेम्ब्रेन सोबत फ्यूज झालं की यातलं मटेरियल बाहेर येतं. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज एक्झोसाइटोसिस. Exocytosis. So the fusion of cortical granule with the plasma membrane start releasing the enzyme, and this enzyme make a gap between the plasma membrane and the vitelline membrane. So now we know that if there is any sperm which is trying to enter inside of the this cell, so it is not going to penetrate this part and it will be a block. So it result into the block of polyspemy. लक्षात येतं मित्रांनो, पहिल्यांदा तर स्पर्म इथे आला, पहिला कॉन्टॅक्ट झाला या जेली कोट सोबत म्हणजे झेडपी मेम्ब्रेन सोबत. झेडपी मेम्ब्रेन नंतर तो डिग्रेड झाला, अॅक्रोझोम रिएक्शन स्टार्ट झाली, तो डिग्रेड झाला. त्यानंतर फर्टिलायझिंग अँटी फर्टिलायझिंग दोघांनी एकमेकांना चेक केलं. सो द कंपॅटिबिलिटी वॉज चेक अँड इट वॉज द करेक्ट. So that means the reaction will be proceed toward the next stage, otherwise the sperm will be halted here. Okay, इथेच halt होतो आणि fertilization will stop automatically. Okay, कारण या सेल्स आतमधून लगेच दुसऱ्या सिग्नल्स देतात आणि मे बी सेल will enter into the apoptosis. apoptosis म्हणजे प्रोग्राम सेल डेथ. okay, सेल मरते, सुसाइड करते. So if it is a check and the everything is right, so the cell will proceed toward the, I mean the fertilization will proceed toward the next stage. So next stage is the fusion of a membrane. In the fusion of a membrane, so when the fusion of a membrane happens, so it will automatically result into the fast block of polyspermy. That means the potential difference is going to be a change, and this potential difference is a change, and it result into the change in the millivolt. I mean the potential difference millivolt मध्ये मोजतो आपण. Okay, so the change in the millivolt, if you see, it is from the -70 to the +70. That means 70 to 100 and 100 to again 70. So sorry, 70 to 0 and 0 to again 70. So it is about the 120 to the 140 millivolt. Okay, so the difference is 120 to the 140 millivolt, and this difference will result into the stop the next sperm to fuse with a membrane. Okay, so it will not allow the sperm to fuse with a membrane. Okay, and this is actually the logic behind the fast block polyspermy. fast block चं कारणच काय आहे की पटकन दुसऱ्या स्पर्मला आतमध्ये येण्यापासून थांबवायचे, because there are the thousands and sometimes lakhs of sperm which is having a contact with a egg. Okay, so the only one sperm had a chance to fertilize the egg, otherwise the other sperm are not going to be enter into the ova. Okay, so the cortical reaction. So what happen if the cortical is going to be released? Here you can see the corticals are releasing into the gap between two membrane, that is vitelline membrane and the plasma membrane of egg. So exocytosis of a cortical granule result into the cortical reaction. So what are the cortical reactions? So this reaction will lead to the modification of a zona pellusoda. So the ZP membrane is now going to be a change and modified into the new form of a membrane. So by releasing enzymes from the cortical granule, so the cortical enzymes which is released from the cortical granule is responsible for the blocking of polyspermy by changing in the zona pellusoda. Okay, so this enzyme start digestion of the receptor present on the zona membrane. इथे तुम्हाला लक्षात येईल की रिसेप्टरचा एक भाग खाली राहिला. So you can see the receptor, half receptor is here and the half receptor at the out of the membrane. Okay, so it is not having contact with the cell directly, and this the fertilizing that is these receptors are the specific receptor. Okay, so this fertilizing and anti-fertilizing, now you can say these two proteins are not going to attach each other properly and it will not result into the fusion of a membrane. Okay, हे दोन प्रोटीन एकमेकांना व्यवस्थित बाइंड झाले तरच इथे फ्युजन ऑफ मेम्ब्रेन ची प्रोसेस होणार, नाही तर होणार नाही. आता हे रिसेप्टरच बाहेर आहे त्यामुळे फ्युजनचा संबंध येत नाही. ठीक आहे. सो दिस एन्झाइम स्टार्ट डायजेशन ऑफ द रिसेप्टर and now the receptor or the zona membrane now no longer bind to the sperm. Okay, so this is called as the again slow block of polyspermy. So this is nothing but the slow block of polyspermy. स्लो होत आहे, याला वेळ लागतो, पण तेवढ्या वेळेमध्ये तुमचा फास्ट ब्लॉक ऑलरेडी होल्ड करून ठेवलेला असतो. फास्ट ब्लॉक ऑफ पॉलिस्पर्मी वॉज देअर. फास्ट ब्लॉक तिथं असल्यामुळे काय होतं की लगेच दुसरा स्पर्म येत नाही आणि जोपर्यंत फास्ट ब्लॉक तुमचा पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स मध्ये चेंज होत नाही तोपर्यंत याने इकडे मोठा मेम्ब्रेन तयार करून ठेवलेला असतो. हा जो जाड मेम्ब्रेन तयार होतो, सो दॅट मेम्ब्रेन टफ मेम्ब्रेन इज कॉल्ड एज दी फर्टिलायझिंग मेम्ब्रेन. ओके, त्याच्याबद्दल पण पाहणार आपण. सो ऍक्टिव्हेशन ऑफ एग, मग नेमकं काय होतंय बघा. सो द फ्युजन ऑफ अ प्लाझ्मा मेम्ब्रेन अँड द स्पर्म मेम्ब्रेन follows the sperm nucleus, centriole. So these are the things which is going to be enter into the cytoplasm of a egg from the cytoplasm of a sperm. सगळ्यात पहिल्यांदा न्यूक्लियस, त्यानंतर सेंट्रिओल. ह्या दोन गोष्टी oocyte मध्ये सेकंडरी oocyte आहे. ओके, दिस oocyte, दिस egg is nothing but the secondary oocyte, जे आपण oogenesis मध्ये पाहिलं होतं. oogenesis मध्ये पाहिलं होतं की नाही? हे लेक्चर पाहिलं नसेल तर पाठीमागे जाऊन कधी मध्ये चेक करा. So these two things are going to be enter inside. So this is a nucleus and the one more thing, for example I am drawing here is a centriole. Okay, so these two things are entering into the cytoplasm and the mitochondria. If you see, the mitochondria is placed here somewhere behind of the head, and this mitochondria is not going to enter into the oocyte. Okay, so this mitochondria is not going to enter into the oocyte. Mitochondria la देत नाही. So mitochondria which is present inside is from the mother. तुमच्याकडे माझ्याकडे जो काय मायटोकॉन्ड्रिया आहे तो मम्मीकडून आलेला आहे आपल्याला. ठीक आहे, आपल्याला सायटोप्लाझम मम्मीकडून आलता सुरुवातीला पण. ठीक आहे, त्यानंतर जे काही रायबोझोम्स किंवा त्यावेळेस प्रोटीन्स वगैरे होते तर ते मम्मीकडले प्रोटीन्स त्याच्यामध्ये होते. न्यूक्लिअर मेम्ब्रेन मम्मीकडला आहे. एंडोप्लाझमिक रेटिक्युलम गॉल्जी कॉम्प्लेक्स मम्मीकडून आलेला आहे. ठीक आहे, तर हे सगळं मटेरियल मम्मीचं आहे. लेक्चर संपल्यावर मम्मीला थँक्यू म्हणा या सगळ्या मटेरियल साठी, की एवढं सगळं मटेरियल तुम्हाला दिलेलं आहे मम्मीनं. ओके, आणि पप्पाकडून फक्त काय आलेलं आहे तर पप्पाकडून 23 क्रोमोझोम्स प्लस हा सेंट्रिओल्स येतो. ओके, सो सेंट्रिओल इज व्हेरी नेसेसरी in the segregation of cell division at the time of cell division. Segregation of chromosome at the time of cell division. सेल डिव्हिजन किंवा सेल सायकल म्हणतो आपण. ओके, सेल सायकल नावाचा एक चॅप्टर होता आपल्याला 11वी मध्ये लास्ट इयरला, आणि या इयरला सेल डिव्हिजन नावाचा आहे. ठीक आहे, दोन्ही चॅप्टर एकच आहे आणि सेम मटेरियल आहे, जास्त काही चेंजेस नाही. जर वाचलेले नसतील तर एकदा वाचून घ्या, फार गरजेचे आहे दोन चॅप्टर. ठीक आहे, जर तुम्ही पाहिलं तर स्पर्मॅटोजेनेसिस, oogenesis सगळ्यात जास्त क्वेश्चन तुमचे रिप्रोडक्शन मधले इथून येतात आणि 2 नंबर फर्टिलायझेशन मधून येतात. The activation of egg itself upon the fusion with a single sperm changes the cell membrane to prevent the fusion of other sperm. म्हणजे ज्या वेळेस पहिला स्पर्म या मेम्ब्रेनला बाइंड होतो, कोणाच्या मेम्ब्रेनला? या मेम्ब्रेनला, एगच्या. ओके, so the binding of a first sperm automatically itself change into the membrane. So there is happen change into the membrane. So this change into the membrane result into the formation of or the modification of a membrane that is called as a fertilization membrane. Fertilization membrane. Okay, so the activation of egg itself upon the fusion of a single sperm. Okay, so the very important word single sperm, you can write it like a single star on it. Okay, so the VIP point आहे तो, very important point. सिंगल स्पर्मने जर 2 स्पर्मने झालं तर असल्या काय भानगडीत पडत नाही, सेल विल एंटर इनटू द apoptosis. Okay, so they prevent the polyspermy. So cortical reaction continue to form the fertilization membrane. Cortical reaction fertilization membrane बनवण्यासाठी मदत करतात. ठीक आहे, and also increase the protein synthesis of egg. Okay, याच्यामध्ये काय काय चेंज होतात तर प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस इनक्रीज होतं. या cytoplasm of oocyte, if you see this cytoplasm of oocyte. Okay, so this cytoplasm of oocyte is full of the mRNAs. याच्यामध्ये mRNA असतात भरपूर, रेड mRNA आहेत. फक्त स्पर्म बाइंड होऊ देत, लगेच प्रोटीन बनवायला सुरुवात करतो, अशा प्लॅननी बनवून ठेवलेले असतात. आणि जसं स्पर्मचं बाइंडिंग होतं ना So this process get activated and it will result into the thousands and crores of sperm, sorry, the crores of protein in a minute. Okay, and this is called as the translation burst. याला आपण ना the burst of protein synthesis सुद्धा म्हणतो आपण. प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस बर्स्ट झाल्यासारखं पटकन आतमध्ये सगळेच्या सगळे RNA एंटर करतात ट्रान्सलेशन प्रोसेस मध्ये आणि भरपूर सगळे प्रोटीन्स आतमध्ये बनवले जातात and that the making of protein is called as the activation of egg. Okay, so this is the zona pellucida. Okay, so this is the binding of sperm which initiate the acrosome reaction. So this is acrosome reaction. Then here the binding of the receptor and the sperm is happen, and then the sperm will enter into the this egg cytoplasm. So the only nucleus and the one more thing, that is the centriole is enter into the cytoplasm. So at the time of fusion, if you see the sperm is bent in the angle, so it will ensure that only this material will enter and not all the part will enter into the sperm. Okay. जर तुम्ही लोअर ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये पाहिलं तर स्पर्म असे एंटर्ड होतात. Okay, 90 degree मध्ये, so that they are perpendicular to each other. But into the higher organism or the most of the mammal, sperm will enter into the ova in the tilted direction. Okay, so there is always angle which is not 90 degree. So these are the follicular cells. Okay, हा स्पर्म किंवा हा पार्ट कोणता आहे तर इथला आहे शेवटचा. at the 14th day, so the ova is released. We know that the first follicular, so we call it the LH hormone is there, which is responsible for the phase. Okay, आणि याच्यामधनं ओवा जो बाहेर येतो किंवा एक जो बाहेर येतो तोच एक आहे हा जो फर्टिलायझेशन मध्ये participate करतोय. So the cortical granule which are entering into the ZP membrane, and ZP membrane become the fertilization membrane. Okay, so it is going to modify itself into the fertilization membrane. कशामध्ये कन्वर्ट होतो फर्टिलायझेशन मेम्ब्रेन मध्ये, जे लास्ट स्लाइड मध्ये तुम्हाला दाखवलेलं आहे. ओके, so guys, let's see the complete process is now we have the complete process in the animation form. Okay, so the sperm approaches and contacts with the egg coat. Okay, सगळ्यांदा काय केलं, पहिल्यांदा स्पर्म आणि एग कोट एकमेकांसोबत अटॅच झालेत. ओके, so now the second thing is activation of hydrolytic enzymes, that is the acrosome of sperm is get activated. The second thing, the hydrolytic enzyme dissolve the coat and allow sperm to enter into the egg. So the third thing, actin fiber elongate and form the acrosomal processes. So the actin fiber, which is the part of a centriole, which elongate and it form the acrosomal process. So this result into the binding of a sperm and the ova receptor, that is the acrosomal process bind to the sperm and the ova receptor, that is the fertilizing and the anti-fertilizing. These two proteins are get attached to each other. So the binding causes the vitaline membrane to break down. Okay, या बाइंडिंग ने काय होतं, व्हाइटालाइन मेम्ब्रेन जे आहे तर व्हाइटालाइन मेम्ब्रेन ब्रेक डाउन व्हायला सुरुवात होते. सो इट कॉजेस द व्हाइटालाइन मेम्ब्रेन टू ब्रेक डाउन. सो membranes of the sperm and the egg get fused. Okay, membrane कोणाचा स्पर्म आणि एगचा membrane fuse झालाय यानंतर. So the membrane depolarize, turn off the sperm binding receptor, depolarize होतं membrane आणि binding receptor बंद होतात. Okay, so this depolarization of sperm is called as, sorry, the depolarization of membrane of egg is called as the fast block of a polyspermy. Okay, so increase in the calcium concentration is again a result into the fusion between the cortical granules and the plasma membrane of egg. Okay, calcium increase झालं की fusion between cortical granule and the plasma membrane of egg will happen. So if you see the membrane and egg fusion, again it started the next process here. So the sperm nucleus enter into the cytoplasm, one thing, and second thing, so the cortical granule and plasma membrane, this fusion will result into the vitaline membrane become the fertilization membrane because of the cortical granule, cortical reactions are they are also responsible for this stage. And the egg activation, where the synthesis of protein is start very fast in the very low time. Okay, so in this egg activation, So the sperm and the egg nucleus get fused and they form the first diploid chromosome. Okay, so this is the second thing. So in this slide you can see, so this is a part, okay, blue color part, that is nothing but the acrosomal reaction. तुम्हाला विचारलं ना acrosomal reaction काय आहे, तर एवढे इव्हेंट्स तुमच्या acrosomal reaction मध्ये येतात. काय काय येतात? Hydrolytic enzyme which is released from the acrosome, that is the vesicle which is headed to the apex of the sperm, okay, and then actin filament or the actin fibers, which is the part of a centriole. Okay, so they elongate to form the processes, acrosomal processes. That acrosomal processes will result into the binding of the fertilizing and the anti-fertilizing between the sperm and the egg. Then binding causes the vital line membrane to break down. So the membrane of a sperm and egg get fused, and the membrane depolarization uh, will result into the stop of polyspermy, that is the fast block. Okay, so these 4 5 steps are comes under the acrosomal reaction. Let's see the cortical reaction. What is the cortical reaction? So the cortical reactions always started after the increase in a calcium level in the cytoplasm of egg. Okay, so the cortical granule get fused with a plasma membrane of egg because of this increase in a calcium level. Calcium level वाढली की cytoplasm आणि plasma membrane एकमेकांमध्ये fuse होतात. So the secretion of secretion of enzymes and the material which is inside of a cortical granule outside of the cell is called as exocytosis. This exocytosis uh, prevent the polyspermy again by converting the vital line membrane into the fertilization membrane. Okay, so the vital line membrane is converted into the fertilization membrane because of these cortical granules. Okay, so guys, this is called as the activation of egg. Okay, so this is nothing but the activation of egg. So if you see the calcium is released in the cytoplasm of egg. Okay, so it will result into the cortical granule exocytosis, so the slow block of polyspermy and the formation of hyaline layer. So the activation of NAD plus kinase and the conversion of NAD to the NADP start changing in the membrane biosynthesis, that is the synthesis of a membrane is started here, so the cell can increase its git. Okay, so the degradation of the cyclin and inactivation of the MAP kinase will restore the mitotic cell division. आपल्याला माहिती आहे की cell division stop केलेली असते. Okay, so the first egg is arrested in meiosis 1. So after the in the process of oogenesis, it again released from the meiosis 1 and it is again stopped or the arrest in the meiosis 2. So the when sperm bind it will result into the release from the restoration of the cell division. Restoration of cell division. So this calcium release also stimulate the protein synthesis, DNA replication, cytoplasmic movement, morphological changes, and morphogenetic material to move. Okay, so the increase in the pH is also the responsible for this the DNA replication and the other things. Okay, so this increase in pH due to the protein kinase C. Okay, which is depending upon the calcium. So the calcium is also playing a role in that activation. Okay, so guys, thank you very much. So this was all about the fertilization in the human. Okay, so this is the Crack Maharashtra CET channel. It's a YouTube channel and it is also the same name for the Telegram channel. So first of all guys, first join this Telegram channel first. Okay, so you will have the notes and the MCQs and the other information here. Okay, so the other information will be here, and then subscribe and they click on the bell icon on this Crack Maharashtra CET, so you will have the notification prior to the lecture. Okay, so thank you very much मित्रांनो. तुम्हाला जर माझे लेक्चर आवडत असतील तर लाईक करायला शिका. आणि जर काही प्रश्न आज अभ्यास करताना जर काही प्रश्न पडलेले असतील तर उद्याच्याला तुम्ही मला परत विचारू शकता हे प्रश्न. ठीक आहे, so thank you very much. Bye bye, see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Bye.